welcome you back to VT channel. Now the evolution of management thought means how this particular management thought has been evolved, when it was started, how it was started and how it has propagated into the practice. So these particular things we will be going to understand through this particular topic we say, or we name it as the evolution thought of management. So here we will be understanding this evolution of management thought into four sub-verticals: period of management awakening, scientific management period, human relation or motivation period and modern management period. So these are the four subsectors or the sub areas where the evolution of thought management it is discussed. So under the period of management, so the people who have contributed: Robert Owen, Charles Babbage and James Watt and Julian Robinson. So these people, they have contributed for the period of management awakening, but the real evolution of management thought had been started from the scientific management period, particularly F.W. Taylor and Henry Fayol during the period 1856 and 1915 and 1841 and 1925 period. By Taylor and Henry Fayol, they have contributed a lot, and that has made or become the emergence of the evolution of the management thought. So scientific management period followed by the human relations or motivation period. So George Elton Mayo, Abraham Maslow, Douglas McGregor and Frederick Heisenberg. So these are the people who have taught more about the motivational theories of the practice. This is the another area. And the present modern management period, establishing the vision, marketing environment, developing culture, managing changes and empowering the employees. So the modern management period, so particularly concentrating on establishing the vision, marketing environment, developing the culture, managing the changes and empowering the employees. So this is the modern management period. So let us see one by one how these scientific management or the human relations or the motivation period and the modern management periods, so how they have propagated the management thought, so in practice. So first let us see the scientific management. So scientific management period hold prominently two greatest exponents of classical theories. They are F.W. Taylor and Henry Fayol. So these two people, theories that they have proposed to be called as the classical theories of the scientific management, and particularly took place during the period of 1856 to 1915 by F.W. Taylor and 1841 to 1925 by Henry Fayol. First let us see the Taylor scientific management. Introduced by Frederick Winston Taylor in USA in the beginning of 20th century, and he is named as the father of scientific management. F.W. Taylor has been named as the father of scientific management, who has proposed the scientific approaches of using these particular management theorems during the period 1856 and 1915, and he hailed from the United States of America. So the Taylor scientific management, what he says is, scientific management is concerned with art of knowing exactly what you want to do and then see in that they do it in the best and cheapest way. Means whatever the thought process or the field that you have, how you are going to keep it in practice with at most effective way at the lesser price or the lesser efforts. So that is the approach. So F.W. Taylor contribution to the management. So here he is using two kinds of approaches. One is the set of tools and another one is the principles of scientific management. So set of tools are separation of planning and doing. Planning is separate and doing means execution, it is separate. Functional foremanship, job analysis, standardization, scientific selection and training of workers, then financial incentives, economy and mental evolution. So this is one set area, and another area, principles of scientific management, replace the rule of thumb with science. Then harmony in the group, cooperation, maximum output and development of workers. So here the tools are separating the planning and doing, then functional foremanship means the functional activities, functional expertise, job analysis means the job which you are going to do it, you have to analyze this entire job with the complete description. Then the standardization means setting the benchmarks for execution of that particular job, then followed by scientific selection and training of the workers, financial incentives, economy, etc. And on the other side, other front, if you can see the principles, replacing the rule of thumb with science, harmony in the group, cooperation, maximum output and development of workers. So let us see the Taylor scientific management tools are separation of planning and doing, that's what we have seen, functional foremanship, job analysis, standardization, scientific selection and training of workers, financial incentives, economy and mental evolution. Whereas the principles already that we have seen, replacing rule of thumb with science means rule with thumb in the sense, so just blindly not following the things, just we are doing the things based on certain scientific principles. So that is replacing the rule of thumb with the science. Harmony in group action means the different interest groups which are there in the organization. So these groups are going to work under a harmonious environment with much more integration. Then cooperation means understanding and sharing of the knowledge and information that is happening across all cross sections of the organization. That is the cooperation. Then maximum output, as you are expecting an integrated cooperative environment from all the directions, so the output should be maximum. Then development of workers means the knowledge levels or the skill levels of the skill set of the employees, whoever they have been working with you. So all the times you should do, and you should ensure that their abilities should be enhanced forever in a continuous process. So here the workshop manager as an example, if you can take it. So planning in charge and production in charge. So there are two sub in charges under the workshop manager. One in charge he takes care of the planning function, and another in charge he takes care of the production. Whereas planning in charge, he works on route clerk, time and cost clerk, instruction card clerk and disciplinary issues. Whereas on the other side, production, gang boss, route boss, inspector and maintenance foreman. Particularly if you are working in a manufacturing organization, so we are having a workshop environment where in the shop floor, so there are two set of people who are working or acting as the major lead supervisors. One lead supervisor, we name it as the planning in charge, and another lead supervisor as production in charge. And planning in charge, all the times he set the standards, he define and design the role of activity, whereas on the production in charge, he makes use of the plan given by the plan in charge, and execution he will ensure it. And ultimately all these are the tasks being executed are done by the workers. So here, but the major criticism with this Tyler scientific management is the theory of scientific management was heavily criticized by the employers, the workers and psychologists. Employers criticize the process of scientific approach as costly and unworkable, because prior to the scientific management, so the process of management was on very thumb rule, where whatever he knows as a manager, he dictates and ensures that the things will happen. But in reality, there is no kind of connection or the feedback system. So Taylor has proposed this scientific approach, but this particular scientific approach was much criticized by all the stakeholders like the employers, the workers and even the psychologists. So from the employer's point of view, they say that when you want to divide the planning process as well as the doing process, means it is going to be a costly process. It ignores the functional areas of management such as marketing, finance and so on. And individual creativity is ignored by favoring one best way. Workers is reduced to a cog in the machines. Then mobility among workers gets restricted because of narrow specialization. Our workers are not involved in the planning part of the job, which was controlled by the manager. So there are some kind of apprehensions or some kind of criticism that was made by the employers, ensuring proposing or saying that so the activities are divided and the worker is not involved in the planning process, and the entire planning activities are regulated and controlled by the management itself, and employee as a person, he did not have any idea that what is happening, and he will be all the times forced to execute, that's all. So this is the criticism that is made. And the next theorem that was proposed by Henry Fayol, but before we go into this thing, this is the second theorem proposed under the scientific management by Henry Fayol. So his contributions are: management is to manage, is to forecast and plan, to organize, to command, to coordinate and control. So here, so he has identified three important areas: qualities of a manager, general principles of management and elements of management. So he identified these two areas. So qualities of manager, if you can see, physical means the physical qualities are: he is supposed to be healthy, he is supposed to be vigor and he should be healthy. Then mental, ability to understand and learn, judgment, mental vigor and capability, means physically that particular person who is going to act as a manager, physically he should be fit, as well as mentally also he should be fit in understanding things and directing the things. Then he should have to have moral qualities, means he should have the energy levels, firmness, initiativeness, loyalty, tactfulness, etc. And he should be educated, and he should be technically strong, means peculiar to the function being performed. Like suppose a person who is working as a works manager in a plant, So he should understand that what are the machineries that are there in the plant, how these particular machineries are being operated, or the nature of operation of their particular business, and how to manage and maintain these particular machineries he should understand. Then experience. So these are the qualities of a manager, and the Henry Fayol has been named as the father of administrative management, whereas the Taylor was named as the father of scientific management, but Fayol was named as the father of administrative management. So Henry Fayol, the second theorem which we are understanding from the scientific management, so he has been named as the father of administrative management, and he has referred 14 principles as the important principles under the Henry Fayol management approach. So here first one, division of work, then authority and responsibility, discipline, unity of command, unity of direction, interest, remuneration, centralization, scalar chain, order, equity, stability of tenure, initiative, and esprit de corps. So these are the 14 important principles proposed by Henry Fayol under the scientific management. First, division of work means, so there should be, the work should be divided into different subunits. So unless you do the elaboration, the work process, so allocation of work to the different individual employee cannot be done. So that is the division of work. Then authority and responsibility. Each and every individual unit of work that is identified, so that particular work or the person who is executing that particular work, so they should have some kind of authoritativeness in handling that particular thing, and he should be responsible for that. Discipline means, so related to the clusters of various activities that are divided. So each and every identical things that will be placed under one particular discipline. Then unity of command means, so as a worker in the organization, so he should get the directions or the instructions from only one single source. So if there are more than 2 or 3 people who are instructing the employee, it leads to the confusion, and he does not know whose instructions he has to follow or what to do. So then unity of direction, even while we are directing the employee to execute the things, so he should get the instructions from only one single source in one single direction. Then interest means, so the task that is assigned to this particular employee, so the task should be assigned to the employee based on his abilities, and through which, so he is going to execute the task with at most interest levels. Then remuneration, whatever the task that he is performing as an employee in the organization, so he should get the honorarium or maybe the wage or the salary in the form of remuneration for the work rendered by him. Then centralization means, so though the activities are divided into the different sub activities, and different individuals are endorse these particular activities, but all these people, they are going to work in a centralized environment with one single unity of direction and command. Scalar chain means, the activities which are doing, they should be systematic in nature, and they should be order. And equity means, the work it is assigned to the different individuals, or the level of importance of this particular work should be in a equal way. So one employee should be given more burden and other person will be with less burden. This leads to once again some kind of unrest in the employees. So equity of division of the work. Stability of tenure means, the person who is working in the organization, he should continue with the organization for longer periods of time. As long as you are having more experienced people in the organization, so their experience, their knowledge will enhance the productive outcomes of the organization. Initiative abilities of the employees, and esprit de corps. So these are the 14 important principles proposed by Henry Fayol. So this is the scientific management approach, where we have seen the earlier slide the Taylor's approach and now the Henry Fayol's approach. So with this, let us conclude this particular topic. So thank you for listening.